Hello fellow YouTubers, Jabo here, and I wanted to discuss something that's pretty important if you shoot black powder revolvers, ones like this, the 1851 Navy Colts. And the reason why I want to mention it is if you shoot the Remington 1958, the Army 58, or the 60, and various other styles, the compartment in here that the percussion cap nipple sits in affords you more room this way, so you can use small pistol primers easily with those, with some plastic vinyl tubing, which I'll measure that out in a minute and tell you what the measurements are for that. But as you can see, obviously this is going to be difficult if you have the vinyl tubing on here with the small pistol primer sticking on the end of it, because it sticks up too far, and then when you rotate the cylinder it hits the sides. You can't rotate it. It won't spin freely like that. So there is a way to make it do that. I have not altered these percussion cap nipples, but I will show you what I did for these. And take that off like that. So what I did was I shortened them, and I used a Dremel, and as you can see, it's nothing fancy. I did polish them a little bit with sandpaper, and then I used a bluing pen, and I have Ballistol lubed up on there, and also use shotgun choke anti-seize Teflon coated stuff. I paint the threads when I put them in, so these won't seize in here, and you can unscrew them easily. And the reason why I say that is these are the regular steel stock ones that come with it. I use stainless steel ones. I bought a set. That's what I had in here. When I have regular percussion caps, I will put those back on the cylinder, but I used the stock ones that came with it, and I just ground the ends down ever so slightly. So I ground them to 5/32 of an inch, and for millimeters that's 3.93 millimeters, which is about 4 millimeters. You can have it at 4 millimeters, it'll be fine. This doesn't have to be a precise measurement. And so anyway, I measured using this end, using the height like that, and that's what we get. So 5/32 of an inch or 4 millimeters. Either one will get you what you want for a height, and you don't have to be precise. As long as it has enough room to clear, you're good to go. Now I've tried this out, everything works, and so what you end up with, if you can see in here, is I got these pistol primers, which you need to know that you can use any small pistol primers. Any small, as long as it's a small pistol primer, you can use it. The 500, the 550, which these are magnums. My local shop was all out of small pistol primers except for these, so that's what I bought. And I paid $20 for 100, which I think I overpaid, because I know the number 500 ones, CCI, from Cabela's, when they have them in stock, are about $9 or $10 for 100. So this is kind of affordable, as you can see. And you just have these, you just put them in there, and when you put it on, the nipple will actually push the percussion cap towards the top, and you will have enough room to turn it. Now the measurement for the plastic tubing, which you can cut yourself from either, I'm going to empty my little box here so I can get the product for this, so you know what to get. I believe I got these at either Home Depot or Lowe's. I don't remember which place I got them at, but this is the size of the tubing, okay, that you're going to need. It'll fit just about all of the standard percussion cap nipple sizes on the end of the tube opening, which I'll show you in a minute. But this is what it looks like, and it is clear vinyl tubing. That's it. That's the part number, T1000603. 10 feet of it. Now this has to be exactly that. The inside diameter has to be 0.170 of an inch, and the outside diameter has to be 1/4 inch. It doesn't have to be. The outside diameter doesn't have to be, but that's what fits in that little compartment perfectly without any issues. I'm sure there's a little bit of leeway either way, but this number right here, 0.170 of an inch, is very important. Now, this is the udproducts.com, suitable for use with liquids, chemicals, and gases. And I can tell you they withstand the heat very well. The temperature range is plus 25 to 150, but I can reuse these, and I have. They don't get damaged when the percussion cap fires, so they're very good to use, and you can use them. So there's the UPC code if you want to do a UPC search, if you're somebody like me that actually does that. And so if you want to find these online somewhere, but again, that's the important number you need right there. So that is really, really important. So anyway, what you do is you measure out what I had measured generally for these was 5, right around. There's, you know, a little bit of leeway. You can have 5.52 millimeters, 5.5 millimeters. Either one of these will get you in the ballpark. You don't have to be precise. So anyway, 5.5 millimeters is basically what you're looking for. General ballpark. You can cut them exact if you want, but to be honest with you, it's a waste of time. I cut most of these with a simple razor blade or a carpet cutting knife, whatever you want to call it, utility knife blade. And you can also just use scissors. Now the problem with scissors is if you don't get a good cut, you end up with the end of it at an angle, and then it actually adds length to what you cut. So you take something and you measure in 5.5 millimeters from the end, you draw a line, and you can just cut with the razor blade, lining the edge of it up, make your cuts. So it's really that easy, and that's all I did. And what I'm going to do is I am going to fire one. I have hearing protection on because it's loud enough for me to do that. I'm indoors. And the thing is you have one of these like this, and you put the percussion cap down on the table, and you put the tube over it, and it'll stick in there all by itself the way it's made. It'll look just like that. That's not the top, that's the bottom. That's going to be against the percussion cap nipple, and you just push it on like that, and you can see that will just sit right there ready to be fired. Now, I initially tested this at the range with a loaded cylinder. I didn't have the vinyl tubing or the nipples shortened, so what I did was I just put the cap on top of the percussion cap nipple and let gravity hold it on there and fired the gun into the ground, and that worked for like 3 of them. And I did notice at home when I tested it that a couple of these I had to hammer down on it 3 times for it to fire. And you have to remember that the hammer face is flat, okay? It doesn't have a firing pin, so it has to strike pretty hard. So if you go around and seat all of these first, let me put this on here first. If you go ahead and you can see how that has enough room to clear now, because I took enough off of the percussion cap nipple length where now you can fire it. So what we're going to do is try to fire one of these. Hopefully it'll go off on the first try. If it doesn't, well, I don't know what to tell you. They do work 100% though. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to seat it down so it's nice and tight, like you do with percussion caps. You work your way around seating them. We've all done that. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to cock it. I'm going to fire. And it didn't fire. Now the next time around it probably will. See? So it works. Most of the time it fires on the first one, and I tilted the gun up and the cap actually fell out right here. So that's why, because it is longer, get these tweezers and pull that off. Now if you're one of those people that take the cylinder out and load them with a loader manually and then put the gun back together, well, then you'll be very happy with these. And if you have one like this where you don't want to take it apart to unload them, it's a little bit of a chore, but like I said, if you can't find percussion caps, you make do with what you have. And these work. These will work. Most of the time they fire on the first round, and you just saw it take 2 tries. And now the other thing that I did, moving on to something else, I will get rid of this calipers. Be careful with that. That was like a $100 set of calipers for other things. But anyway, this was one way to do this. And there's a couple other ways to do it, to make your own caps. I'm not going to make the caps, but I'm going to explain to you how to do that. So one of these will work on the actually both of these will work on your standard length percussion cap nipples that come with the gun, and it also works on the shortened one. So if you want to mix and match and not have to take the nipples out every time, you can still use these, and this actually makes it easier with the type that I'm going to show you. Now these will not use the small pistol primers, though I would be willing to bet the regular pistol primers would actually fire easier than the Magnum ones. I'm not sure. I haven't tried them yet, but I am going to be getting some more small pistol primers to use. And so what do we got now? Wow, that looks messy, doesn't it? Well, that's because it is. They're homemade primer caps. These work very well, and I will explain how I made these. Then I will fire one. So what I did is you have this really cool stuff like this. These are single shot caps, and these little white things in here are little plastic vinyl separators to keep the powder charge in there. And unfortunately, the powder charge on its own is not enough to shoot the cap and ball black powder revolver. I tried several. I tried doing different things. There was nothing that would work with just these alone. And that's what they look like outside. As you can see, there's 144 in each pack of these. Now, these are the ones made in China, but they are real powder. They smell like real powder. And I also tried another thing that failed, is these roll caps that we used to use when we were kids, these red roll caps. And these seem to have, these actually use real powder made in Germany. This is the same stuff we used to have when we were kids. So these ones made in Germany have the real gunpowder. The problem was I had to double stack these to even get a remote chance that they would work, and stuff them inside my own homemade percussion cap, which I will show you in a moment. And this video is going to get a little long. I really apologize, but you can skip ahead, skip around, whatever you want to do. But anyway, that's what these look like, and you can see they're just like percussion caps, but they're plastic. And the problem with that is, while they do fit on the nipple barely, they split when you try to put them on. So to prevent that, I used the same vinyl tubing we saw earlier, but a much shorter cut, like that. It's just basically on here to keep the cap from splitting. That's all it is. And what I did was I went through each one of these, and if you pinch one, the white vinyl separator lets loose, and you take an X-Acto knife and you can flick each one of those out. But out of about every 4 strips you do, you're going to have one that sets itself off and make you jump. So don't have anything flammable around, don't have any gunpowder around, don't have any percussion caps or reloading equipment, nothing around that can burn, because one of these will go off on you whether you're being careful or not. It makes me jump every time. It's not dangerous, just these caps. They're just toy gun caps, you know. So you should wear eye protection. I should add that. But anyway, that's what they look like. That's what they do. You can buy these online if you look around. They just unfortunately don't work well on their own. So anyway, these brands, this almost worked. And what I used was, somebody else online had done this, and you have like a star shape paper punch, and you just punch out each one of these caps in a star shape, and then what you do is inside your homemade percussion cap, you just tuck them in there, and because it's a star shape, it folds like this into a cup, and then you can put it on your percussion cap nipple. It works in the house as a cap gun, but it does not ignite black powder well enough. So you'll get 1 out of every 6 will actually ignite the black powder. So this did not work for me. So anyway, this is all trial and error. So what did we get that does work? Well, these red caps I was just telling you, with a little help. What is that little help? Well, I got this little container of sulfur, charcoal, sand, and potassium nitrate in the proportions that you need them in if you follow the directions of this stuff. All right, this stuff is called Primol priming compound. Any primer, anywhere. So you can prime your own percussion caps, and you can also basically this stuff is made to reload your own 22 LRs if you load your own, and you can see right here that it is www.22lrreloader.com, and this was only about 20 bucks. I bought 2 packs, and I'm not even remotely close to getting through the first pack I bought, and I have made hundreds of percussion caps. So you get a lot of bang, literally, for your bucks. And you get a little scoop. After you mix your powders, you have a little scoop, which has a large end and a small end. So that's hence the small. So this would be 1 small scoop, 1 small scoop, 1 large scoop on this end of charcoal, and 2 large scoops of potassium nitrate, better known as stump dissolver, which you can buy at Home Depot. And oops, did I say that? Anyway, the other thing you're going to need is you're going to need one of these punches to make your own percussion caps. It has a little slot in it that you can put your piece of metal in, which I use an aluminum pie plate. You can also use an aluminum soda can, as long as you wash the can first, and use the outside of the can that has the paint for the inside of the cup, because it seems to hold the powder in there better. So anyway, you mix up your powders according to that, and you get this gray little powder, and I will punch out a cap just to show you. You cut these into strips, and I'm just going to do this here real quick. You put this in here like this, and you sit that on top, and you just take a mallet, easy as that, and there you have it. You have a little cap just like that, and that's it. You put the powder inside the little cap, and the directions that come with it tell you how to do that. You are going to need some acetone, better known as nail polish remover, or you can use almost pure rubbing alcohol, 90%. Don't use the stuff that has a lot of water in it. But after you have your powder in there, you put a drop of water on there. Not water, alcohol, rubbing alcohol, or acetone, nail polish remover, because they completely evaporate, and they help you sit the powder in there into a more crusty consistent where the powder won't dump out. And also what I do is I will take something like this, the size you need, and use it to tap the powder in there gently, obviously, so it doesn't blow up on you. But then you just put them on your percussion caps, percussion cap nipples. Now the thing is with that is they don't fit the percussion cap nipples tightly, so once in a while you will get a chain fire. So you can either fire 3 on a 6-cylinder to make sure you don't get a chain fire on the nipple end, or you can get real percussion caps, put one real one, and then one of these, a real one, one of these, a real one, and double the amount of percussion caps that you're using without depleting your supply as fast. That's primarily what I do when I can find percussion caps. But anyway, that is that easy, and that's how much material it takes when you punch it through. So anyway, I hope that helps somebody out. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to load one of these on here, maybe 2. I'm feeling saucy. Okay, I'm going to put 2 on here. Like that. That's actually not a good one, because that is actually one where the vinyl piece was not cut deep enough. You see how thin that is? It doesn't want to sit on there well. So we'll help it out a little bit. So we'll spin this around, and I'm going to fire a couple of these. This stuff here will not ignite on its own, so you don't have to worry about that. It's not gunpowder till it's mixed, okay? So no worries. I will close this. So we're going to fire one, and you will see this go off. Get a nice good focus on that. Works very well. We got another one. So there you have that, and you can see they fired like you want to have, and that's what they look like after they've been fired. So they're all smooshed and they fired. So anyway, those are the plastic toy caps that I converted to be able to use on a percussion cap revolver using those vinyl pieces, which now I got one of these vinyl things that doesn't want to come off, which usually doesn't do that when I'm out in the wild. Just because I'm recording a video, it's going to give me a problem. So there you have that, and it's a really cool kind of invention, I think, or modification. So there we have that, and I really sincerely hope that this helps somebody and they come up with solutions when you can't find the damn percussion caps, because it's so friggin' annoying. You just want to go shoot. That's all you want to do, and you don't want to have to deal with this stuff. So I find cutting the vinyl pieces and making these out of percussion primers, small pistol primers, I think this is going to offer me the best solution for time and effectiveness. They all work, and when you make your own, like these red percussion caps, some of them fire better than others, and once in a while you get a misfire, but these have been 100%, albeit sometimes you have to fire it a couple times for it to go off. And if you don't mind doing that, then it will work. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope this helps somebody out. And I know it's a little long, but I think it covers a lot of stuff that people need to know with these. And you can find workable solutions that don't cost much money that actually work. So with that being said, thanks a lot for listening. I really enjoyed doing this, and I really hope you enjoy shooting black powder firearms like I do. It's really fascinating. These are both 36 caliber like they originally were in the Civil War, and after the Civil War you started to see 44s and other calibers. And well, it is what it is, and it's cheap. I paid $330 for this one, and I actually combined two together. This fancy engraving actually went with this cheap brass one. I paid $220 for this one, and this barrel came with this color case hardened style. I got that from Dixie Gun Works, and I did have to do some work on it when I got it, because the hand wasn't correct and the end of the barrel wasn't correct. I had rotating issues, but everything's working fine now. I've fixed everything. So a lot of fun. These things are fantastic, and I just liked how this looked with the regular blued with the engraving, and then putting this engraving part on here. And I also sighted these. So that is another video for another day, using a file and doing my windage and depth. And I filed into the back hammer sight, and if I just put a little nib of that showing, I will hit dead center every time I shoot, from 30 yards, 40 yards. I even shot 100 yards with this and hit 4 out of 6. It's the only time I was able to do it, but I did it. And this will drop the really bad groupings that you get with these stock. It's usually 12 to 18 inches above the target that you shoot high, and you have to aim under the target. Well, if you just sight it using a file, a knife file, you can actually sight these. So a little tip for you. That's trial and error at the range. Don't worry about ruining it. You can buy a new hammer for 20 bucks or less, and you can start over. So it's pretty easy. So anyway, there you go. 30-minute video. I apologize, but I covered the whole gambit of all this different stuff on YouTube people have tried. I've tried them all, most of them, what works and what doesn't work. And I can tell you, these homemade percussion caps with that punch, these work every single time. Every time. But like I said, they fit loosely, and you'll get chain fires on the nipple end with these. So maybe you won't if you own a Remington Army style, but these 1851 Colts will, because what happens is when you fire it, it jumps over to the cylinder on the left. Not every time, but often enough where the ball comes out, smashes on this wedge, and splatters, It doesn't damage the gun, but it's just, I wouldn't do it with a 44, let's put it that way. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this. Have a good day. I talked too long, I'm sorry. Thank you for watching. Thank you, new subscribers, and subscribe and tell people about the channel. It's not monetized. I don't make a penny off this. I just like doing them. So hopefully this helps some damn buddy. Have a good day. Enjoy the rest of summer. Almost 100 degrees here in Maine. It's very hot. It's hot everywhere. So peace out. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching.